Testing. Sorry, we filmed this entire podcast, and halfway through the podcast, we realized it was not recording. Woot. So that you're gonna hear, we're gonna hear round two. Yeah. A little bit more well rehearsed. Okay, so this is Heather and Corrie on the Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. 2 weeks ago, Corrie, I'm gonna just run through 2 weeks ago, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we've already been through this.
2 weeks ago, I asked Corrie 10 questions about herself for the intro. Last week, Corrie asked me 10 questions about myself, and this week, I would like to ask you 10 questions about the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
Okay. At first, I did not know what these questions were, but since we've already filmed this, I do have a hint at what they might be.
Okay, so I have 10 questions that I've already asked you. Are you ready to answer them? Round two.
Sure.
If you had to come up with a group mission statement, what would it be?
It would be that everyone who joins the group, is this a good, did I say this last time?
It sounds terrible, but I'm curious to know where you're going.
Okay, everyone that joins the group ends up getting the knowledge that they need to end up being successful business owners in this industry.
Okay, I like it. Who is your target audience for this beautiful group?
Okay, the first time I said anyone with an oven.
Lame, so I'm glad you get a second shot at this.
So the target demographic for this group is anyone who owns a business who is looking to grow that business. This isn't for the person that just enjoys decorating on the side.
It seems like exclusively for the person who enjoys arguing and
as
comment threads.
But anyone who's really geared towards wanting to take those next steps, whether you have on your goal sheet that you want to be a storefront bakery, or if you're like, hey, I want to be able to pay for my kids' schooling, or if you want to work from home and quit that day job.
Yeah, from hobby to hustle, right? Mm. This is kind of the goal, is that people who join this group aren't needing to ask heat sealer questions because they're probably looking to find a CRM program.
Yes.
Right. So you can be new to cooking and fit just right and perfectly in this group if you have a marketing mindset and you say, I want to make money. Somebody joined the group yesterday and she was like, I'm new to cookies and I'm here to learn how to sell. And I'm like, hey, perfect. That's exactly.
Welcome. Pull up a front seat.
Right. No heat sealer questions, but everything else. Fair game. Question number 3. What are some resources this group provides that not everyone may know about?
We actually have, I'm so grateful for this, but we have a lot of members who do lives about their specific strengths. So we had someone who did a live just last week on how to sell out of pop-ups in a rural community.
Yeah, Just Clapper really nailed it.
Yeah, she really did. And then weeks before we had how to make videos on Instagram that get you more views and more reach.
That was Susan, and she just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, so we actually have been just blessed with people who are willing to share the knowledge that they've gained. So if you have not, you can actually go up to the events tab at the top of the group and click past events. And Heather so kindly puts those lives right into the group discussions for their appropriate events.
They're pinned to the top. So I know Corrie and I did a live. So you'd go to, like Corrie said, go to the group, go to the events tab, go to past events, and then look up the title of the event you want, click on it, and towards the top, there's going to be that live.
I love how you just reiterated what I just said.
Because they're just going to be like, where do I find it? I'd be like, go to the events tab. Hey, twice as nice, right? So question number 4, what is the most enforced rule in the group? Not counting today.
Not counting. We want to keep it as business, sales, marketing related as possible. So heat sealer questions.
I'm sorry, did you say business heat sealers?
Business, heat sealer questions are great, but we actually have up in the files section groups that are member suggested groups of their favorite places to ask icing consistency, heat sealer questions. But we are more geared towards I have my heat sealer, my cookies are heat sealed. How do I sell these bad boys?
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. So really, you can make a non-marketing question seem marketing related, and then we can't even touch it. Well, it just has got to be.
Sometimes they ride the line,
right? So if your thread gets deleted, it is not about you. It's just about cleaning up the feeds of the members.
If Heather has had lunch yet or not, if she's feeling feisty and deletes it, she has not eaten.
Also, there's about 2 hours between when Corrie wakes up and when I finally go to bed where it's free reign.
Have at it, kids.
Whatever happens in those dark night hours is on you all. Okay, question number 5. If you could tell all 16,000 group members one thing and the algorithm would let you reach all 16,000 members, what would that one thing be?
Vote Corrie as your favorite twin.
That brings us to our second question, but I'll get there in a second. Is there anything else you would like to tell me?
If it was marketing related, I would say consistency is key when it comes to effective marketing. So
no, she didn't say icing consistency, so don't ask us questions.
So whether it comes to email marketing, it comes to making posts on your page, it comes to follow up, things like that. Consistency is what is going to work for you the longest.
You can have all the marketing theories in the world, but without implementation and consistency, it's not going to do much for you.
It's hard to say like you haven't posted to your page for 6 months and then do that.
Why
All
am I
right,
not
I'm having a
making-
pre-sale,
yeah.
and then you hear crickets. And
Why am I not making any sales? And then I look at everything seems great. Oh, you haven't posted in a year. Oh, maybe that was probably it.
blow those cobwebs off that bad boy.
Right. Okay, I like that one. If you could only tell people one marketing tip ever, what would it be?
I feel like I just answered
I don't know. It sounded better the first time I spoke. Anyway, move along. Do you think the group's favorite twin is you? And if yes, why do you choose to lie to yourself?
Gotta stand up on me.
That is a rhetorical question. Be left with those thoughts. Number 8, where do you hope this group will be in 6 months?
My goal for the group would be have, the OGs that joined us when we created this group last year. I would love if they became successful and then actually turned into mentors to new people entering the group or entering the industry. That's the goal, is to get people successful so they can trickle down that wisdom to people just starting out.
Corrie and I said if we could get the entire cookie industry to raise their prices collectively, then everyone makes more money.
I know.
Right.
I know. It's not a race to the bottom, kids.
It's a race to the top. If you could tell people to focus on one baby marketing task this week, what would it be?
If you could, because this is actually accessible to most everyone, except for maybe people in Alaska halfway during the year, is to focus on your lighting when it comes to photography. The first thing that your clients will see when they start thinking about the buying process is your photos. Mm-hmm. Online photography is huge when it comes to online marketing. So
people buy with their eyes.
Yeah, so go and
pictures worth 1,000 words. I come up with
Heather's
a lot
got a lot more
one-liners. I'm ready, guys.
We've actually already done this, and so she's rearing and ready to go.
Win more bees with honey. Okay, last question. Do you think people in this group can tell us apart on the podcast?
I cannot even tell us apart on the podcast, but I assume all the witty one-liners come from me and all the boring stuff comes from you.
Someone said that Corey's voice sounds sultry.
Hello and welcome to the
Baking
It Down podcast with the twins.
That would be Corey. My voice is high and squeaky. Okay, moving right along. So the way that this podcast is an extension of the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook. If you want to go directly to the group, we reserved the domain name and forward it to Facebook at sugarcookiemarketinggroup.com. That'll take you right to the Facebook group if you're from podcast land and unfortunately tripped upon this podcast.
Bless your soul. Some people do come from podcast land. Mm-hmm. They're like, I heard you on the podcast. And I'm like, they probably want to put a face to a name so they can be like, I hate you too.
You guys sound and look as annoying as you are. So basically in the podcast, it's an extension of the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, but we cover the intro, which you've just heard, trying to jazz it up a bit. I don't know. Stick in the oven, see if it bakes. Then we go to the Marketing Minutes, which is a little bit more marketing concept focused. After that, Business of Baking is less marketing, more business management, client relations, mentality, growth mindset, things like that. Then we go through voicemails, my favorite part, where people can write in or call in, and we'll play your voicemail here and answer your questions.
She says write in like we've ever gotten the snail mail, but we
Yeah, you wanted to talk about
going
that.
to do a mailbag.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Then group stuff and Twinterests after that, which is an annoying word for anything we're into that we think you guys might be into.
It might be baking. It might not be baking.
Last time it was Corey's peeling feet, so I don't know.
That was 2 times ago. Last time it was a yet ago.
Yeah. And then after that, sponsors. So are we ready to dive in yet a second time for the podcast?
Second time is the best time. Okay. Heather's going to take over the marketing minutes.
Okay. I wanted to talk about brand voice. When I say brand voice, Corey, do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, you do, because we've already done this. I forgot. But let me read a little bit. So we get some comments in the group about brand voice. People saying, I don't know how to write this. I'm not very funny. I feel like I'm boring. The word they're looking for is I don't have a brand voice. And that's the marketing terminology for that. what you write as
what
the
do I
conversation.
say is what
Yeah.
I see people type a lot.
Right. So what they're actually asking is, how do I develop a brand voice that connects with my target audience? And that's what we want to talk about today. Here's the technical definition. A brand voice refers to the personality and emotion infused into a company's communications. It encompasses everything from the words and language you use to the personality and images your marketing assets aim to invoke.
There's a lot of money words in there. Big words
Yeah, right?
that I'd pay $4 for.
Okay, so let's dumb it down a bit. So when Corey and I, our day jobs is marketing, not necessarily cookie marketing. That's more of the side hobby. But in our day job, when we onboard a new client, we try to establish their brand voice, either what they are or what they want to be. And the questions we ask them are, who is your target demographic? What is their age, their gender identity? Are they married or not? Do they have kids? Are they in their 60s or are they in their 20s? Because whatever their answer is going to greatly affect how we talk to that audience.
If you say your audience is 60 plus, I'm not going to say yeet, yeet, skeet, skeet all over the post.
Eatle that old kitchen out and let's get the new kitchen in. You know, sheesh. Okay, Heather listens to TikTok way too much.
I'm like an old person on a young person.
I want to say that she followed me, and I actively did not follow her back. I can't send Corrie TikTok unless she follows me. Okay, so then we'll go on. That was also rude. Then we'll go on and say, how do you want the audience to view your brand? Do you want to be seen as a resource, a knowledge expert, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, an authority? Are you approachable? Are you high-end? Are you salt of the earth? Whatever the answer is, how we're going to start designing the copy. When we say copy, we mean the text that surrounds a sales post to reach their target audience.
I think we have for our marketing clients, we have a bit of each one of what you just said. Everyone, as you were going there, I'm like, oh, that's them. Oh, that's them. Oh, she's referring to them.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different. You can be whatever brand voice you want to. You just have to figure out which one you want to be.
Absolutely. And I totally agree. In the last few years, you kind of see brands use their brand voice to cut through the marketing crap. Like, it's a really crowded space, the marketing world. I think it's on average, we see 5,000 ads a day through various things like a banner ad, a pop-up of TV ad, or the radio.
Radio station, billboards when you're driving down the 95 corridor.
Thank you for that information, Corey. Don't laugh in their ears. They have sensitive ears. Okay, but have you ever seen Wendy's Twitter? Wendy's, the burger chain.
Before the last time we filmed this, no. But since we already gone through this, yes.
Okay. Well, you guys are the first time get to hear about Wendy's Twitter. Wendy's realized that 60-year-olds aren't checking their Twitter account or Facebook page. So instead of trying to get 60-year-olds to adopt Twitter, they said, forget 60-year-olds. We're marketing to the 20-year-olds, the people who are a bit more on Twitter.
And Heather made this point in the last time we filmed this thing
Great.
10 minutes ago that she even said that Wendy's TV commercials are a lot different than maybe their Twitter account because they know where their audience is on each platform.
Yeah.
Okay,
So Wendy's Twitter bio is, we like our tweets the same way we like to make our hamburgers, better than anyone expects from a fast food joint.
I love that.
Right. So their tweets are really hilarious. I think I just looked them up on Facebook and it says, my name is Wendy, not Wendella. Keep this going. And then you're like, my name is Heather, not Heather Rinsky. Like, whatever it is. But the amount of comments in that stupid engagement thread did really well because they've cultivated their audience and then they've matched it with the brand voice.
And their goal is to get in front of you as many times as possible, hopefully during the lunch hour.
But are they going to get in front of you like, buy the Baconator 2 for $1, get a free Frosty on the side? Or are they going to be like, I'm Wenda Lunsky?
Buy for me. Heather
Right.
Rinsky.
Make it funny, make it entertaining. And so KFC, their Twitter account? So KFC is 11 herbs and spices.
I love KFC.
On Twitter, they only follow 11 people. It's the Spice Girls and 5 men named Herb. Herbert. But it's like it's because it's 11 herbs and spices.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That is my kind of humor, man.
Yeah, and they just cut through the just crowded channels of marketing to do this kind of more funny brand voice. So, okay, establishing a marketing voice can help you better determine what your brand is, who your target audience is, and what your marketing goals are. It's basically like approaching, how do I write copy from the top instead of the overwhelming bottom of like, I have already so much to do. What am I going to do here?
Yeah, how do I say, I made these cookies yesterday. Aren't they lovely?
Right. Do you want to be? So when your marketing brand voice matches your target audience, you create this synergy that almost does its own work for you.
I know. I think we have. I know I'm maybe skipping ahead since we did this 10 minutes ago. But the way that Heather and I talk in the group, that's honestly our personalities. We like to be jovial. We like to slight each other. We like to be a little funny and also drop some knowledge in a more funny atmosphere. But the way that we sell our cookie decorating class is a little bit different. Most people who take our classes haven't taken it with us before because we are geared more towards beginners, people just wanting to try it out for the first time. So we come from a more educational sounding space because I don't want anyone turned off. They don't know me yet. So I want to have that educational. You're coming for education. You're going to learn how to decorate cookies. But in class, we let those one-liners and puns fly across the room.
Comedic gold. I'd almost pay just to watch us speak. And then the cookies would be
Someone even wrote us a review and they're like, they are really funny.
Okay. But that's a good point. So when we onboard a client, we're not writing as sarcastically as you see the way we write in the Facebook group. We did have a client who was a landscaper, and he said, I want your personality with that sarcasm. I want that as my brand page.
That was easy peasy because we didn't have to rethink.
And he said, he was in his probably late 20s.
Yes.
The landscaper. And he's like, that's, what I want to cultivate. I want to market to people in their 20s who just bought that first house.
Right. And he didn't want people who had like maybe a stick up their bun who was going to give him grief. He wanted someone that, hey, if you make a mistake, it's okay. And that's kind of the voice we represented for him.
Then we work with a remodeling client whose kitchens are $150,000. What they don't want to see is a hilarious meme that I like with the word yeet as the caption, right?
They don't.
No, they want to know that this remodeling company is the best in the business. They use the best products. You get an on-site project manager. So we talk from that authoritative perspective. But Corrie and I make sure that the brand voice matches the clients. That way Corrie can write a post and I can write a post and the business owner can write a post and nobody would notice the difference.
The problem is it creates a weird vibe for your end user if you are super jovial, funny in one post and the next post is, here are my cookies, period.
Right.
It doesn't create that brand voice that moves across that people feel like they can engage with post after post after post.
So how do you establish your brand voice? It is hard to create a personality, right? But a way
Heather
that
would know.
Just kidding. Try it every day. But the way that you can create a brand voice is don't reinvent the wheel. If you like the way Wendy's handles things, go and study their copy. Eventually you'll find yourself resonating with that type of vibe. That's why you want to write the word yeet.
Yeet.
The Yeetle Beetle. There's a car in the neighborhood that's Volkswagen Bug, and the license plate is a Yeetle Beetle, and I don't know.
What does yeet even mean?
What does your 11-year-old think it means?
My son said it means to toss the ball across the room.
He said, I yeeted it. I said, yeet it back over. Now yeet your butt back to bed. Stop laughing.
Okay, they said they
can see the audio wave, and when you laugh, it goes off the chart.
Over here, I see nothing except for a happy Corrie doing what she loves.
We don't like Corrie in front of the controls. Okay, so that's what I'd say. I really like Reddit's, because of Reddit's commenting upvote and downvote system, you end up getting this type of personality that's slightly sarcastic, that's non-offensive.
Like the Reddit user.
An average of the majority. And I like the vibe. So I'll go on Reddit and read the comments there, and whatever makes me laugh, I'm like, oh, that's pretty funny.
To try to reuse it to you guys.
Absolutely. See what Copy, paste. Control C, Control V. So that's what I'd say is ask yourself who your target audience is. Are they 60? Then you're going to be writing differently than if your target audience is 20.
And this leads to, I know we've talked about it in Sugar Cookie Bookies, if you're part of that group, or Heather has actually made a post with a great PDF download about who is your customer avatar, which that sounds like jargon. Like,
but everyone's like, everyone, I'd like to sell to everybody. No, your marketing can't be everybody and be effective, right? Wendy saw that and then just completely cut off the older generation.
Yeah. So customer avatar just technically stands for who is your ideal client.
If it's one person, you can only pick one person. What is their age? Where do they live? Do they live in their parents' basement? Do they live in a giant mansion up the street? Like, well, if they live up the street, invite us over.
Hello.
But you get the point. Answer that question. And then how does that person want to be spoken to? Can you meet them with that brand voice that matches what they're expecting to hear?
I just want you to know that I heard you say meat, and I'm not going to let it go.
I want to let you know, in the first round of this, we hadn't eaten lunch, and it was 2. Now it's 3. My stomach is growling so much that you would have thought we had a guest host.
I couldn't stop
couldn't stop. And for your sakes,
I took her
hit
to
the delete
eat.
button.
Took her to lunch, and we are back at
My
it.
brand voice was my stomach, and he was speaking.
Okay, no, but I actually love that. If you can figure out your brand voice and also your customer avatar, that ideal client, and you can marry those two, that's where the money is. Because you're talking directly to the person who is buying. So having those both filled out side by side, it's going to help you create that copy that's compelling while also reaching the exact person that is going to pay you for what you do.
Absolutely. Get those two speaking to each other, and it's going to be really easy for you to create that copy.
Okay, guys. We are moving to the business with baking.
Which I've already heard.
Okay, she's heard it.
This would be
more
now
than
the 12th time I've heard this story.
Okay, but you're going to act like this is
Excuse
the
me while I
first.
phone it in.
No, you are not. You are going to be here giggling and laughing along the way.
That was our stomach. Fair enough. It was loud earlier. Okay, Corrie's going to take us through customer experience.
Okay, customer experience is big when you are selling a luxury item. Heather clarified last time she loves to say she likes this place, but it is above her price range. What is that restaurant that you have maybe gone to twice in your life?
DC Prime, and I've only gone once. And
No, you went twice. No, yeah, because you accidentally
expensive.
bought it one time for some motorcycle guy.
That was the first and last. My
I thought there was
said
another
no.
time.
I went to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, because
instead.
they didn't see you all.
They were extremely expensive restaurants. So the appetizer average cost was $50. I showed up thinking it was like a steakhouse, like hey, I'm here to eat your butter bread, and then I had
Texas Roadhouse, I love that.
When I walked in, I was in my motorcycle gear.
And let me tell you guys, when she's in her motorcycle, I'm going to paint a
guilt.
Oh, hey. I tried to act like it didn't happen. When she's in her gear, she stinks. Okay.
Because it's so humid here and it's so hot, and then you're on a motorcycle, a death trap, and you're just hoping you can get to point A to point B without dropping the bike.
So when she takes that gill off,
I gotta say, it smells like outdoors mixed with with
the deodorant, said goodbye.
The deodorant put in overtime and said, I'm not getting paid for this. So I walk in, motorcycle gill in hand, and the hostess has a white napkin over her arm. And I said, I am not ready for this. My wallet's definitely not ready for us. My Okay, I'm gonna let it go. Keep going. My dodo. Okay, my deodorant is not ready for this. Okay, go with your stupid story.
Okay, no, this is funny, but this is about customer experience.
You better hope you don't.
Oh, good. I am sweating right now thinking of the words I'm about to. Okay, so I want to talk about customer experience because when you are selling a luxury item, if you're a luxury restaurant, if you're a luxury brand, customer experience is huge. And it doesn't just start and end when they pick up the package and leave. It actually starts from the very first time they talk to you to all the way when you follow up with the order and ask for that review if you are doing what your marketing people have told you to do. Mm-hmm. So I actually have a story. This is what Heather is talking about that she has listened to 12,000 times. Mm-hmm. But it is actually the ending part. If anyone knows or if you listen to past podcasts, I was actually in the hospital for emergency surgery because a kidney just decided to stop functioning.
Probably because you didn't water it, but just a thought.
Just a thought. I've been watering it ever since. Mm-hmm. It's been watered.
I'm just not really sure why my kidney shut down after I didn't drink water for 2 years.
They said they don't know if it was water.
Corrie, were you drinking water?
Not a lot. But I was in the shower.
Drinking to the crevice of my lip.
Sucking it in. So the last thing that they did was they actually put in a stent. What do we call it? Stent?
I think we named him Kent the Stent.
Kent the Stent. So when they put it in, they needed to get him out. I needed to only have it in for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, when I tried to book with this urologist, they couldn't fit me in. Things were misspelled. They had my name wrong. It ended up taking 2 additional weeks before they could get me on his books to remove Kent the Stent. Okay. Already I'm a little apprehensive because customer experience has not been great thus far. But hey, I finally go in to remove Kent. And I'm so excited because literally Kent was making me run to the bathroom every 2 seconds. So
Did they want to know this?
The whole story
ready for this? A lot of these are they're baking while they're doing this, and
they already listened to my feet last time.
Fair enough.
They're just moving up my body. So I finally go in, and they take me down the hallway to what I could only assume was a previous closet at some point. That was funny.
Are we
You can
sure
mark
this
down.
was a doctor's office?
No, I have no idea.
Was the access door in a dark alley?
It was.
Go on.
So this tiny room. As soon as I entered the room, the first thing that caught my eye was a craftsman tool shed thing. What is that? A little
Like a tool
drawer?
chest?
The drawer one.
Like the ones typically seen in
a
garages?
mechanics garage. That's what was behind this place where I'm about
It's not
to
your
get this.
business. Send me the DeWalt drill, please.
Yeah, I was already like sweating. What could they possibly grab out of there? Then she says, "Ma'am, do you mind taking a seat on the procedure bed? What would you call that? Just the bed that
Procedure
you
bed
lay
works.
on." Okay, procedure bed. But please, ma'am, do not sit on the end as it will flip over and crush you.
Was it nailed to the ground using the handy
I
tools?
almost reached in there and like, let me help you out. I'll bolt it to the ground real quick. Oh, I had to.
Stop laughing in their ears. Okay, go on.
Okay, so that was already, I'm just waning now. So now this bed could crush me if I don't sit on it, just in the middle part. Then the gentleman comes in. This is actually the same guy that performed the emergency surgery on me a month prior.
Oh, so you guys have a history? Good.
I thought we did. So when he comes in, I said, "Sir, thank you so much for performing that emergency surgery on me and saving my life."
And he said?
He looks at me and says, "I don't remember you."
I've seen many consistents.
Okay. I said, "Well, I know. I figured that. I said, I almost don't remember you. I was out cold for it." And then he wanted to get straight to business. So I had no idea what a stent was before this happened, but it's like a 12-inch long tube they put and connected to your kidney, to your bladder, to help you.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Stuff,
I'm so
do
sorry.
stuff.
that
Yeah.
she's-
So he needs you to go in and get it. So assume the butterfly position. If you know, you know. He had this long tube-like thing with a video camera on it and a little grabbing
You
hand.
positive this was a doctor's office?
Still not sure. So he says, "Okay, I'm going to go get it out." Puts this little camera in there. We're all watching myself on the big screen at this point. And then he just starts saying, "Something's wrong. Something's wrong." Okay, but I'm not out for this one. I'm alive and well listening to him say something is wrong. It doesn't provide confidence in it. My customer experience is waning at this point. He hits a little grabby
You mean
thing.
you hadn't lost it with the "please don't sit on the edge of the bed"? and
Kind
the
of
tool
did,
chest?
DeWalt. Then he thought he grabbed it. No, he grabbed something inside me, and it made me just grasp the table. And he was like, "Oh, sorry about that. It's hard to see. I can tell. I can feel it." So when he ends up getting the stent out, he presents it to me like it's a newborn baby child and says,
12 inches born.
"Born 12 inches long, 2 ounces." Just kidding. No, they said they like my laugh. Anyways, he kind of jiggles at me and says, "What do you think?" I said, "Wow, crazy, crazy." Then the man leaves. So then I am told to sit directly 50-50 in the center so I am not then crushed by the bed as I get up to leave this thing. Will I be going back to the doctor's office?
You were supposed to, but they canceled on you because he took a vacation last minute.
So my customer experience that was involved in that whole process was the less than best. So I would probably find a new urologist when I get my next kidney stone, shop around a little bit if I can do that. But that's what I want to talk about with customer experience with you. Let's say if you were doing a pop-up or everyone was having pickup day on Saturday, I don't want you to go out and hire a landscaping company and redo your whole front yard, but you could maybe brush the leaves away off the patio, rake a little bit, cut the lawn so it's
that
not 11
cobweb
inches.
that's been there so long that the spider has like a family name. It's time to send him out to pasture.
Yeah, because that's a part of your customer experience. Are you answering the door and looking like you haven't showered in 5 days? And the only reason I say that is because I look currently like I have not showered in 6 days.
Smell like it too.
No, I do not. I just look like it severely. But the reason being is because your customer experience is a part of the added value of what you're producing. So you want to charge those higher prices. You're going to have to create that customer experience from the very first time they talk to you to when they walk away with the products in their hands. That's why when me and Heather teach cookie classes, we shower, we attempt to look our best.
Shower.
We attempt to shower. But I have those Bakery Tico cookie shirts because it's identifiable. It looks uniform. We're not showing up in sweatpants and sweatshirts. We're really trying to make that experience good for them because they're paying between $75 or $85 per ticket. So signage is something that is also
that's a good one.
Adds value.
It feels like it's easy to locate. A lot of people are stressed when they have to locate a new place.
Heather sends an email as an additional added value to the customer experience, letting them know, here's the building you're looking for. Here is what the parking lot looks like, because people do have those anxieties. And when you can subside them, that adds value to you and it helps them really feel that value added to themselves.
Yeah, a weird thing we do in class is we purchased a Google Home, those little smart home things, which I'll talk about later, but we have classical music playing through it over Spotify.
That's my favorite.
100% of the time that we have that playing, someone says, wow, this is so relaxing. When we don't have it playing, no one ever says
People
that.
are sweating.
So now it's become this relaxing environment, so much so that often the repeat clients says, this is my relaxation station.
Yeah. No, and so by providing those things, by giving it some forethought of how you can add to that customer experience, whether it be signage, whether it be, your logo branded on the bags or, a lot of people.
A cute bow.
Oh, cute bow goes so far.
Just if you could increase everything that clients engage with by 1%, imagine the overall experience, the better experience they'll have.
Yeah. So so customer experience is important, whether that be to rake your lawn, cut your grass before a pop-up, to look presentable when someone comes to the door for their pickup.
To communicate with their expectations at the house, the location, the photos, to look presentable yourself. That's going to be much different than please sit in the center of the bed and don't touch the drill.
So that was my story. Thank goodness Kent the Stent has found a new home somewhere, hopefully in a trash can. But customer experience goes a long way. A lot of times if you don't have repeat clients and no one hits you up again,
that's a huge indicator of
maybe take a look inwardly. What could you change? What could you add value?
Follow-up, communication. If you took an average of everyone's feedback or when they start dropping off and you say, what was the last experience before this client kind of stopped calling me? Whatever that is something you could probably just fix or, up just a little bit to give your clients a better experience and thus give you
got it, girl. You got it.
Give you their money.
Give you their money. Wow, that was someone that was holding you up.
We've already done this twice, man. I nailed it the first time. Just take my word for it. Okay. So we went through the marketing minutes, which is brand voice. Really like that concept. Corrie hit us with Kent the Stent.
I miss you, dude.
With the business of baking. So next up is voicemails. Voicemails are text, emails, and calls left on our company phone number.
Do you mind if I introduce the number in my low voice? Please do. Give us a call or a text at the phone number 571-556-5644 or send an email at hello@sugarcookiemarketing.com.
Thank you, Corrie. Now back to me. Okay, so with the voicemails, we pick about 3 or 4 between text and voicemails to kind of break it up so you're not just hearing our sultry voices the entire time. But our first text is from Amy. She says, hello, this is Amy again. I have a question about your sugar cookie marketing business if you're willing to answer it. Obviously, you're providing a wonderful service to us and we greatly appreciate everything you've done, especially Heather. However,
that part was not in there. Okay.
However, you don't charge us for the content and rarely have any ads on the podcast, so what's in it for you? I mean, genuinely, not rudely. Are you just giving back to the cookie community? I do recall you mentioning on one of your podcasts that in the past you've grown websites and then sold the website. Do you anticipate selling our group or monetizing it in some way? You guys are a huge wealth of knowledge and amazing with marketing tips for us. If there's any way we can financially give back to you, please let us know.
Amy, can I hug you? Yeah. Because that is truly so nice. We do appreciate every one of these group members who, a lot of you give back just unconditionally. Which is, it makes me and Heather want to live up to you guys and also give back. But that is honestly a great question. We are not going to sell you to a Dan down the road. It's not going to just wake up one day and be like, Dan the man with the plan.
Corrie and Heather are out dancing.
So that group will always be free. What we have been working on and what we're almost ready to launch is a closed group for this course that we are making. This course will be 40 plus videos of how to take you step by step through marketing channels and avenues and ideas and strategies where you can actually grow your business. Sugar Cookie Marketing Group is great for people maybe want to get their big toe wet. But what about those who are like, I don't want to just hear about Wednesday wins. I want a game plan where I can start today and I can buy my bakery location by the end of the year. So that is what this course and this private group will entail. It'll be more for people that are, hey, I'm not about the fluff. I am here to learn. I am here to make more money. I'm here to quit my day job. And that's...
Yeah. So to date, have we made any money from this? No, we've actually spent a ton. But that's the point. That's what we preach in the group is add value and then charge accordingly. So we don't want to charge everyone for everything. We just want to charge, I think we're going to cap it at 250 people who really, really want to put their money where their mouth is because they're willing to do the hard work. So I know if I could say that the group content is pretty much beginner to intermediate, this course content would be beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
And Heather, I'm super excited this because Heather wants to do like Zoom strategy sessions. So sessions. So if like Father's Day is coming up, how beneficial would it be to have a strategy session just going where you can real time get those answers? You're not waiting on someone to hopefully see your post. And then you can get like one-on-one strategy help with someone who's been there, who's already done it.
Yeah, I imagine out of 250 people, if we had a live on Tuesday at 10:30, you're going to see about 20 people. That's very easy to control. A lot of back and forth. You can turn on mics and say, hey, let's just dig into this.
Yeah. No, so I like that. So if that's going to be something you would like to financially invest into the twins.
That's the only time we'll take your money. If we can provide you the next level of value.
Yeah. We're not going to just take your money, but mailbag. I'll get to that.
Okay, so I like that question, Amy. Thanks for texting in. Lizzie's texted in as well. She says, hi, Heather and Corrie. This is Lizzie Robran. Thanks for that pronunciation there. She gave us a little
She said, I know you're going to have a difficult time here.
From our little bakery in Southwest Missouri. My question is, what would be a good rule of thumb for things you should announce to your clients on your page or Facebook group and things you should not, but rather you should just talk about when it comes up in a message or something? I'm ad-libbing just a little bit. For example, I'm getting enough business in the small town we live in to no longer need to offer cookies to my clients in my hometown of Kansas City. Do I announce that I'm no longer serving Kansas City, or do I just take it off my Google profile and address customers as they inquire? Love y'all. Thanks so much.
Love this question, Lizzie. This is actually a great question, and it depends on your goals. So if you are not going to service Kansas City any longer, as you know, we preach time is money. So it is beneficial to you to let everyone know that Kansas City is no longer going to be a part of your business moving forward. This saves you the time and energy going back and forth, someone guilt tripping you, you saying, oh, I guess I can do it this one time. And you can really focus on marketing to your ideal client, which is in the small town that you are in now. Not everything needs to be broadcasted. If you had a price increase, you know, Heather and I say, just increase the prices. You don't want to create an objection where there is no objection, but because you are no longer servicing Kansas, you can state it because there's no objection being made. That is a hard boundary that you are creating. Whereas pricing, we just suggest upping
it's different
your pricing.
Content and it's different goals. So we don't want to make a rule in the group where none was. It will just enforce a group rule if it crops up, right? Because, why introduce that negativity?
Yeah. So I like to keep it positive. Poor Kansas City, but hey, you're growing your business and this is where your ideal client is. I'm sure it probably saves you time and energy. You don't have to send them. I'm going to say
I'd like to stress though that just because you posted it to your Facebook page once, it will not disseminate that information to everybody. It will only reach about 2% of your page followers, which is a bum deal, meaning that you will get a lot of Kansas inquiries until maybe 6 months has passed.
Do you think maybe she could add it to her pinned post?
Yeah. So in Facebook, as the page, you can pin a post at the top. So I know as we're coming out of COVID, our state has lifted all the mask mandates for vaccinated individuals. Now, as our clients are starting to announce, hey, we're not requiring masks in store, we turn off comments and we pin that post to the top.
So that way, anyone who's coming to the page, as they're seeing your name and everything right at the top there, they're getting the most useful information. Will everyone see it? Absolutely not. That would be crazy if they did. That'd be a world I'd love to live in. But more eyes will see it, and you can keep it pinned to the top with relevant information. Heather and I often will pin it to the top when it feels like the date on it is a little stale, where people think, I think they forgot about this post. I'll actually recreate a new post, pin that one to the top so it still stays fresh. People aren't ignoring it because they think it was from 2 years ago.
Another tip is if you're not servicing Kansas City anymore, can you find somebody somebody where you can refer those leads to. You can do that as a free service. Yeah, you can do that as a service for free if you'd like, or you can ask somebody if they'd be down for referral fees. You have invested the time, which is money, into creating these clients that are interested. If you want to forward those on to somebody else, you could have an agreement with somebody else saying, hey, can I get a $5 finder's fee?
Someone is going to say, how dare you? But you run your business however you want to. If you want to do the finder's fee, do it. If you don't want to do the finder's fee, don't.
Right. At the end of the day, our goal is to monetize, right? To make money. We haven't made money here in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group, but do as we say and not as we do.
But our goal is always been to create a space for those wanting to learn.
Right. Options.
Yes.
Options. And I do recommend still referring those clients to somebody.
I think it would be beneficial to your past clients. And
it'll make these people feel, I'd much rather say, hey, can you help me? No, I can't. Hey, can you help me? I can't, but I know somebody who would love to.
Yeah.
Give them an option. Makes me feel like I was taken care of. Okay, that was a great one. Okay, I'm going to play the voicemails, Corey. I'm going to turn up the computer real quick. And this one is from, I didn't write the name, but she introduces herself.
Hello, this is Katie Palomo from Sweet Designs Desserts. I just want to say I really love you guys. This podcast is great. It's perfect for listening to while I'm decorating cookies. My question is about the content buckets. If you are not using one of the apps or anything that can post for you that you were talking about in other podcast episodes, how do you organize content buckets if you just are using like your phone? Do you put it in like a gallery and just save things? If you could just talk more about that. Thanks. Bye.
Great question. So what she's talking about is a concept we covered in last week's podcast, and I did an extremely, extremely boring Facebook Live on, but content buckets. So we basically say, come up with 4 or 5 buckets of general categories where you can pull from your marketing. So again, we'd be talking to our target audience. It would be something like customer reviews. Corrie and I like memes. We like client wins, things like that. So from a cookie standpoint, she's saying, I love it. I've got the buckets, but on my phone, how do I organize that? I don't use a computer. Corrie, how would you do this?
So if you're an Android user like myself and probably 2 other people listening to this podcast, because most people are Apple people, you can actually have folders that you can put things into. So I have folders for things I screenshot in the group, like people's wins, and that goes to a specific folder. I have a folder for my cookies, things like that. So those folders, if you name them properly, can work for you as a content pillar, content bucket, whatever you want to call it. And it makes it easy to access. And I know you said, people don't have the thing to post. Facebook has that option for free, and you can actually now schedule from your phone. You can all do it all in one spot, so you don't have to be running to your desktop, your laptop, your Apple iPad for you fancy folk, and then to your phone. You can actually just do it all in one place.
So she's also, to give you a little bit more backstory, Corrie and I use post scheduling software. Facebook offers this, but Corrie and I, for our clients, have to post to more than just Facebook and Instagram. So we use Hootsuite, and then I've been testing Meet Edgar. That's what the Facebook Live was truly about, but it allows you to build those content buckets and schedule these posts ahead of time. However, it works best from a computer where I save the file, my content buckets.
True.
So that is a great one. Here is the second one.
Hi, Miracle Sisters. My name's Sarah. I am the baker at Dopamine Desserts in Centerville, Massachusetts. I just have kind of a general question about writing copy. I find I am quite verbose, and I have a very conversationalist style, I suppose. I just kind of write it like I would talk, and that leads to very long posts that I don't think anybody reads all the way through. So I was just hoping for some tips and tricks to shorten up my copy and actually get people to read it. Thanks so much.
Great question. So information is worthless if nobody consumes it, right?
Amen.
So she's saying, hey, I write a lot. This kind of goes back to the brand voice talk, but she's like, I write a lot. I'm not sure they're reading it. I write like I talk. So what can I do to make sure people read it? I'm always going to say it's in marketing. It's called above the fold content. It's content that's you can read before you have to click see more. It is the most important content. Corrie, give me such a blank stare.
Oh, I'm totally here for it. I'm like, yeah, see more above the fold.
Right. So above the fold content, when you write a long paragraph on Facebook, most of it is called truncated. That means you can't see it unless you click see more. Corrie just glazed over with that word.
I will be Googling that after the podcast.
So in the content, your first sentence is the most important. And I like to add an emoji as well. Because why? Emojis just cut through the crap.
It's colorful. It catches your attention with that endless scroll. I actually use a lot less emojis than Heather, but I'll always be for the one at the top.
So the first emoji, I would say, have it be geared toward your content. If it was St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to find me a clover.
If it's an announcement, it's that megaphone one.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, this just in, I no longer service in Kansas City, then jump into your diatribe. Here's what I'm going to say. Big blocks of content, which would on Reddit, you say huge wall of text. If it's a wall of text, I'm not reading it. What I want to see is that essentially thesis statement and then your supporting arguments. I want those to be broken down with line breaks.
So that if I don't have enough time, I can at least get the gist. If I have a ton of time, I can read through the whole thing.
Yeah. Most of us are skimmers. Most of us are just like, okay, let me see why she locked this thread. Can I get down to the offending comment, right?
Yeah.
So when you do write that content on your page, I would say start with your biggest call to action or the announcement at the top with an emoji. It's not a lot of text before that truncation starts, right? So get it out first, then kind of support your thesis statement with the supporting argument, kind of the same way you'd write a paper. And then in the conclusion, tell me how I can order, right?
Before you post, I want you to read it to yourself and be like, is this sentence I'm reading adding value or adding fluff? And if it's adding fluff, cut it out. Because people only have microwave mindsets. They only have about 2 or 3 seconds before they make a decision to scroll or to read. So you really want to make sure you're using their time wisely so it can in turn use your time wisely.
Right. If you think of it this way, let's say you had made those poop emoji cookies.
Yeah.
And the first line I see is, holy crap, in all caps. You got my attention. The next line, you better keep it, right?
This stuff is going to be crazy.
Right.
Okay. That actually sums up. So I would like to, in my rather low and sultry voice, invite you to call or text. That phone number is 571-556-5644. Don't worry, we never answer and we never text back. Okay, but I actually wanted to touch on something that we wanted to start.
Okay.
Guys, let me know if this is a can do, can't do, if you're interested or not. But we've had people that have sent us mail. So I would like to introduce a mailbag.
I've seen this on some of my favorite podcasts.
It is on my favorite podcast, absolutely. And I absolutely
break it down
love it. Okay, so if you want to send a postcard representing where you're from, I don't want you to feel like you have to invest anything. If you have a stamp collection, if you have a picture of your favorite cookies, if you just want to tell me I'm your favorite twin, that's what I would want you guys to send.
We will be removing all of that literature. Thank you very much.
Except for Greg, which is the Cheesecake Ninja, said, and I'm holding this man to it, that this scrumdiddlyumptious thing is on its way. It should be here Thursday. He said diabetes by Friday.
Right. So that's great. So if you'd like to send us cakes, I'm in.
Yeah. So, but I just want to get to know you guys on a more personal level. So if you have, an inside joke, if you want to say, which twin, it would just be fun to get to know you. So let me know, would you even be interested in that? I would love to get to know you.
Almost from a marketing mindset, if I wanted to sell to the group, but I know that the group couldn't be sold to, is there any way I could send Corrie a cookie cutter that she'd have to review live on a podcast that reaches thousands of people each week?
Stop it with your marketing
I
know-how.
It's almost like I've done this for 10 years and sold websites for a profit to Dan the Man.
Dying the line. So let us know. Do we even have a place they could send it to?
You have to send it temporarily here.
I thought they had a P.O. box.
Okay, yeah. So we have a P.O. box. It's not a P.O. box. It's actually an actual mailbox. So you can send packages to it because a lot of places don't accept.
Yeah, don't limit yourself. Don't feel like that.
The bigger, the better.
Bread
I want you to test the UPS store and what they're willing to store. But that P.O. box, that not P.O. box, the actual true mailbox is 15,000 Potomac Town Place, Suite 245, Woodbridge, Virginia, 22191.
Say that one more time.
1515000 Potomac Town Place, Suite 245 in Woodbridge, Virginia, 22191.
Oh, that was so
sultry.
Useful. Okay, but if you want to send us something, do. If not, but we'll definitely give you a shout out on here.
So we get to do a live review of Greg's cheesecake?
I almost wish we
Just
didn't
remember
do the
it.
podcast.
We're going to eat it on Thursday, but we'll remember it for next
I almost
Wednesday.
wanted to eat it on the podcast.
Could you imagine hearing us snacking over
I
your
would just feel bad for
loudspeakers?
everybody. Okay, so now we are moving on to group stuff.
We're on day 18 of the 3x3x3 challenge, which I know most people have quit, but the concept is great. And it's truly, people say, how do I grow my Instagram? You engage, and you engage with quality content and quality hashtags. So the 3x3x3 challenge is commenting on 3 accounts that follow you, commenting on 3 accounts that you follow, and then commenting on 3 accounts that you find through hashtags. The ideal being, if you comment, odds are they're going to comment back. If you continue to engage, odds are they'll follow you. It's not a following thing. It's an engagement thing.
It's an engagement thing. And it's not just using like the heart emoji. That is not a quality comment, no matter what you tried to say. It is reading their caption. It is looking at their photo. It is finding and drawing something from there and responding to it in their comment section and giving them engagement that we also desperately want.
Okay. Describe to me a photo upload, and I'm going to leave a proverbial comment as a demonstration. Go ahead.
Just like a picture I uploaded?
Yeah, just say something. Explain it to me.
Okay, what I just uploaded today, and I did the alternate text, it is a blue onesie. One side is textured, so it looks comfy, and the other side has blue airbrush stars to represent a star baby shower theme.
Girl, I could fall asleep right now just looking at these cookies. They're not boring, but boy, did you embody comfort and icing. How did you manage to get that texture there on the right? Anyways, love this. Any recommendations for a good cutter shop?
Oh my goodness, here's the cutter shop I got it from. Here's how you do this texture. Thank you so much for commenting. You made my day.
Sweet. Wow. What a great set. Looking forward to more content you post.
Follow.
Okay. Great. Nothing but net. Okay. So great. That's a 3x3x3 challenge that is going on till the end of the month, but you can do it whenever. And you can make it the 6x6x6 challenge.
I made it the 28x28x28 challenge.
Yeah. So I would say if you guys are wondering why you're not winning on Instagram, it's because you're not engaging.
Yes. So if you want engagement, don't think it's just going to show up at your door. You have got to give it. And it is not an overnight thing. It is an investment. So keep that in your back pocket. The next is upcoming lives. We have an amazing one coming this May 20th, which is technically on Thursday at 7 Eastern Standard Time with our very own Courtney of Bakery Tea Co.
The prompt queen.
Heather loves to call her the prompt queen. If you say Courtney's name, Heather will be behind you saying the prompt queen.
I like it.
But she is going to cover, what is she going to cover? You left it on the note.
She's prompt queen. She's covering
Prompts.
Instagram. So the one thing about, her group is Cookie Society by Bakery Tea Co. Bakery Tea Co. is the t-shirt company that she sells the t-shirts that Corrie was referring to earlier. But in her group, she gives you a prompt every day to post to Instagram, whether it be, hey, an introduction to yourself, talk about your kids, talk about how you got in the business, things like that, your favorite cookie, your favorite cutter shop, things like that. So you don't have to do so much of the content generation. You could just essentially follow her play-by-play each day.
I know, so I'm excited for that one. The next is Relationships and Baking with Lisa. That is May 27th at 4 p.m.
She's
Eastern
from the Yukon,
Standard.
so the time zones they're a little different for this one.
Yeah, so she is actually going to talk about how baking in her business took a toll on her relationship with her husband and how they went almost to the brink, but used communication. What's that word you love to throw in
And
there?
compromise.
And compromise, and brought it back. And now they are thriving as a couple with the same mindset and how they made time for each other. So that's actually going to be a very interesting one. I am excited about that. The next is graphic design and branding for sugar cookiers. I don't know what spoken in Cook English means.
She said she's relating it to how cookie people think. So she's not using big words, big terminology that turn people off. She's speaking to it in a way that you can understand.
Okay, so anyone who's on the fence, hasn't quite made their branding or thinking about switching branding over, tune in May 31st, end of the month, start next month off with a bang at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, and that's with Vanessa. So that'll be a great one. She's really excited about it. She's done a few logos for people in the group.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right. Okay, past lives, we one that was a couple weeks ago. I really loved it. How to create, build, and grow a cookie business newsletter with Jennifer
Oh my good, Jennifer Grow.
Guys, I don't know. It's because we did this twice already. Anyways, it was really good. She taught for an entire hour how she managed to sell out her Easter orders using just emails.
And it wasn't like she has this ginormous following on social media or something where you're
she wasn't like she was paying a ton of money to accomplish this. Every tool she recommended was nearly free.
I know. And her strategies behind it, definitely tune in because what she is doing was just amazing. And I absolutely enjoyed that and learned some things I did not know myself.
I can't remember if we talked about it in this podcast or the last one, but how would they find these past lives?
Okay. I feel like that was the last one, but I can't remember if it was this one.
Remember.
If you missed the live and you're like, oh, I've searched the group, I cannot find it, cannot remember these names, go up to the events tab in the group, and then you're just going to click past events. In each event, Heather has actually shared the live within that event, so it's easy to find for you, and you can just binge all of those after you've binged the podcast.
And last week, Jess Clapper, she is a pig farmer that lives in a very small town. I think she said 3,000 people.
It was like the directions were past the cornfield, before the other cornfield, by the pumpkin.
Left at the big oak. But anyway, she sells out of her porch pop-ups. But a lot of people say, oh, I live in a small town. I can't. She blasted that one out of the water, and she said, absolutely you can. And here's exactly how I do it.
People are showing up at the cornfield. They're driving out to her, and they are buying out everything she sells.
One of the best two tips I really took away is she says, I will always have a kids activity cookie related thing.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a great one. She said parents are constantly looking for things to entertain their kids with. So if she ever has a porch pop-up, it always has
DIY,
tic-tac-toe.
paint your own.
Yeah.
And
I think she even had like some assembling house thing.
Gingerbread house?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I like that.
And that was a great tip. And another one that I liked is she will always sell a food-related item turned into a cookie. So a burger as a cookie.
Yeah, she was like, turned corn, made a little corn
into
cookie.
A cookie, right.
That's
so
cute.
she always said those are two things that you'll always see her offer.
Yeah, but listen to that because she actually went into great detail and then answered every single question that was given to her.
Oh, an hour of nothing but value. And then went back and answered all the questions.
I know, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the itinerary Twinterest. Twin, what are you into?
My Twinterest.
Other than yourself. Okay, go on.
Okay, so I actually was marketed this juice cleanse, and I thought it was so dumb when I first heard it. But now Heather knows that I have partaken of it so many countless times. It's embarrassing. But I am currently doing this juice cleanse with squeezed. And if you do it correctly, you will sleep like a baby each and every night. And it's just nice to give my body a little break from Heather knows me and her have a sweet tooth.
Sorry.
Like we will not pass up a candy store without entering and buying something.
Yeah,
but
a chewy spree.
It also makes me feel so bad at the end of the night. So these juice cleanses really help me to kind of refocus on my candy-free life that I need to be living.
That's good. I admire your
Candy-free
fortitude.
life.
Okay, that's a good one. I've been really into smart home automation plugs.
She really has, guys.
Right. So then, we talk about streamlining our work efforts, but that comes even to the physical as well. So oftentimes, okay, here's a true reason I did it. Corrie likes me to print these stupid cutters. And it's not like I'm good at it. And it's not like these cutters print well. But I got us, we got the cheapest 3D printer on the market, the Creality Ender 3 Pro. And I plug it in and it runs. And then, but it runs, I mean, like some cutters, if I print enough at a time, I'm looking at 5 hours. But Boo Bear in bed, so I can use a smart plug.
She doesn't want to walk down there.
Tired. I can use a smart plug to turn the printer off for me. So I can go to bed and the printer isn't running all night, creating heat, sucking power. I can say, hey, smart plug, turn the printer off in 6 hours when the print is done. I also got a smart camera to stare at the printer so I can sweat from remotely and watch my spaghetti print. So
Guys, she's like, look at this camera I bought. And we literally looked at the printer from down the road.
Yep. My print still failed, but I got to watch it in real time.
All right. Now we're on to sponsors. But before we get into that, did you go on that Bumblebee date?
Bumblebee date? Come on, man.
I've been out of the dating scene for so long.
Boy, I had 2 husbands. I'm retired.
Don't let me show on my boat in front of you.
Yeah, I did go out with Eduardo, but I'll let you know how it goes next time.
Now we have a name.
Muy caliente.
Eduardo.
You got to say it in your sultry voice.
Eduardo.
Yeah, it sounds better that way. Eduardo. No. Ed. Okay, I think that wraps us up for this week. Hopefully you recorded this time. If not, y'all on y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, have a good one. Stop laughing in their ears.
They